Gibbs, driver of the 13 Mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Fest?
Super late.
Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing. I sort of sat here and said, hold it, I don't see no volume stuff kicking up. Then I realized I still had it muted from when you guys were talking. I didn't want anybody to hear anything they shouldn't.
You may want to try that at home. Muting might help the show.
Anyway, tonight we got Joe Scarbrough.
Interesting. I'm sure my girlfriend wishes she had a mute button.
All right, Joe. All right, settle down. She's got. I'll tell you about that mute button. Remember you saying something earlier I told you about? Take care of it while you're down there type thing?
No, let's not even go.
I want to know if you've painted your toenails yet.
All right, let's try this.
Jill's got the 61 painted at Jill Evans, Richie Evans' daughter. Richie Evans is being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm friends with some of his family that live here in the Richmond area. And Jill, if you look at Jill Evans' Facebook picture, she had her toes done, and she's got the orange 61 with a couple of jewels on her toes. And I thought it was a great idea, so I'm going to have mine done.
Okay.
You're going to paint yours orange and have the 61.
It'll probably be like later at night during one of the festivities, but you know it's possible.
Anything's possible after a few beers, right?
After you pass out, it could really happen.
You can wake up with
it. You never know.
You never know what you
should get like a Richie Evans wig.
I'll get the shaved in my head.
The 61?
61, yeah.
There you go. All right. We're going to have Joe Scarbrough here to the right. We got C.E. Falk in the middle and Matt Mullins to the left, and me, Roger Brehm, sitting off to the side having more fun than these guys do. Maybe. All right, let's try this all over again.
All right, so what were we starting off? We were talking about our inaugural, or what I consider the inauguration of racing season.
There's a discrepancy.
The discrepancy that I consider it the 24 Hours of Daytona. And CE, your point?
I mean, it's short track racing all to me, so it's Speed Fest. It was at Lanier, and they moved it to Watermelon because they had financial discrepancies every year. So Kyle Busch is going to be there, man.
So what's the date of that? I'm not familiar with the...
I think it's this weekend.
Is it this coming weekend?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's beat you out.
All right. So it beats by one weekend. But I bet you this has got more television coverage.
Racing started last weekend.
Where?
Chili Bowl.
Oh, the Chili Bowl? We had a Chili Bowl? Who won it? I didn't even hear who won the Chili Bowl.
Y'all were even wrong.
Kevin Swindell.
All right, so I just got
Kevin
third.
Swindell won
Okay.
3 in a row.
No.
This is his third in a row.
It is third in a row.
This is his third in a row.
Third in a row.
It's
That's
Swindell's fourth in a row. And Daddy came in second again, I believe,
Yep.
if I heard it correct.
And Kyle Larson finished third.
Kyle Larson finished third.
NorCal Ninja.
And Tony finished 10th.
Yeah. And Stenhouse finished ninth, I think.
Yeah.
And then Clausen was fifth.
Yeah. So there's some big names that really go down and run.
Big names, big show. But I I'm going to go with most television coverage, and I believe, are they covering all 24 hours this year? I think they're covering the whole race.
No, I think Barrett Jackson's chiming in for a few hours.
Is it splitting between two? I've heard it's split between two networks, or is it all on Speed?
I think it's all on Speed, but they are.
I think I still got you on hours.
For this being like your big inaugural event, you don't know much about it.
No, well, the most important part is there was a 24-hour party at my house. So, and that's the most important part of it.
You can give out your address to the people. So
It's on Facebook. It's just catch me if you read it. Just come on down. I think we'll cut it off probably about 100 because you can't park after that.
I bet we can.
Well, it'll look like a short track race after you pull your car out of it. There'll be wheel marks and everything, and headlights missing.
U-car battle.
Yeah, the U-car battle. But the guys with the SUVs always win that, though.
I wonder why.
Well, that's why they don't allow them with the short tracks. They're not real fast, but they're hard to pass.
I finally got to watch. I got to watch the beginning of the Richie Evans, and I'm going to ask you this because you're going to have to ask your dad this. How did you pick your first color on your race car?
Go ask Joe first.
Well, my first race car was one of Dad's old race cars, so it really doesn't count. I didn't really
But
get.
how did your dad get that color?
Actually, I was designing paint jobs for him, like on model cars, and I was, white plastic cast, and it was the car became like a neon red and white, like a Richard Petty red and white. It was supposed to be blue, but when I peeled the mask off the white, I was like, wow, that looks really cool. And then he ran those colors for the majority of his career. But his first race car, if you want to know how he got the color of his first race car, that color was on sale at the local hardware store, and I think he painted it with a pad. It was an old 70 Dodge Challenger for a bomber class up at Freeport,
Nice.
New York. Yeah, where they would pull, I think, 75 bombers for a 30. You could start like in the 20s in a 10-lap heat race, and you were basically doomed. And they didn't. The caution flag didn't exist. It was green or red, and that was it. Yeah, and
Not like an enduro.
yeah, it was pretty much like an enduro. If you crashed, you sat there. If somebody blew up, you crashed in whatever they blew up in. And it was
Pretty much an enduro, yeah.
rolling mayhem. Yeah, but exciting. Who doesn't like a good enduro? I mean,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Have you ever raced in an enduro?
no, I haven't.
CE, have you?
Been in plenty of races that I thought was enduro.
Well,
I
yeah.
have seen that. Been there too. And what about you, man? Have you ever?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
125 laps of racing your butt off. I mean, Langley has put on some big tracks, a big group of people. We've had as many. I've seen 110 is the biggest one I've seen.
I ran 150 laps at Southampton Motor Speedway in the middle of July, green to checkered.
Yeah, but you had AC in the car. Come on.
Yeah, right. No.
Closest I was to an enduro was a 50-lap open comp late model race in Pennsylvania back in the 90s. 50 laps, 17 cautions. I finished third. I had a roof, a trunk deck, and a driver's door. That's all that was left of the car. And I think there were like 12 of us running at the end of it. 30 started.
Yep.
Latest when we ran a 300 lapper at South Boston. It's 300 laps. Well, we only ran 200 green flag.
Oh, jeez.
All the rest of them were under caution. So a lot of restarts that day.
Yeah, that's messy. Did you guys fuel for a 300 lapper?
We took a break at 150 and got 2 tires and fuel.
2 tires and fuel.
We had a race at Langley. It rained out on the Saturday and decided to run it on the Sunday. And the race had 131 laps of caution, and it was only a 100-lap race.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there was like 3 cars that actually ran out of fuel.
Sometimes you just have to know when to pull the plug.
Yeah. Drop the checkered. Uncle. Mercy. You need a mercy flag.
I remember that one.
It'd be pink.
That was the first time I was ever on a front row in a late model race.
Mark McFarland came down. Used to drive the 3 late model, and I can't think of his name. He came down.
David Blankenship.
David Blankenship came down. Mark McFarland was there. Grub Boys were all down there. I remember that. That was a tough race.
I remember Bob Shreves was one of the ones that ran out of fuel.
Bob Shreves is the one that spun out. He was on the front row, and he spun out in front of the whole field. And how he didn't get plowed into, I'll never know. Because when it went around, he just stood on it and did a complete 360 and smoked up the whole that front end, the whole front stretch. How people made it through, I'll never know, but nobody touched
So
him.
James Bond pulled that move with the old smoke screen. Nobody
Yeah.
ever ran into him either.
He did it too.
If you keep your same line and keep the same pedal, you just go right on through
They
it.
just
Go
went
right
cold
onto it.
trickle through that smoke.
Yeah, a lot of excellent guesswork behind him, I'm sure.
And there was a whole lot of guesswork going on with that.
Big right foot.
So, did we bring it up on? Were we on air when we were talking about Joe painting his toes? Do you know how Richie Evans got his color?
Yeah,
We were on that conversation.
it's like DP orange. Well, they'll never really come clean on who got the paint or how it wound up in his shop.
It just mysteriously
But
showed
his car
up in his
is
shop.
the same color as all the snowplows in that town, and he just stuck with it for a year. And it was really, it really went with like the hooligan nature that he had. You know. Outstanding competitor, great guy, but he was a goofball too. He was a lot of fun to hang around, and just always up to some kind of mischief. And did you read the book that Bones, if I'm pronouncing
No.
the name wrong,
Bones Bouncer.
Bouncer. And he's in that special too.
Yep.
But he wrote the book there, and it goes into a lot more of his antics, like Loctiting all the doors closed in a hotel and blowing up a giant inner tube full of acetylene in the isolate pits. And I remember that crater as a kid. We never knew how it got there.
But now you know.
But now I do. But yeah, we were like track rats, and we played in the big hole out, and because the like where all the rigs would come in was just sand, and he nuked it.
What was it? He put a $100 bill up on top of a pole and greased it, and had everybody.
Yeah, I think they did that at that hotel he had or something. Yeah, it was always something like that. Racing rental cars down a beach at Daytona or into the ocean, I believe was one of the stories I heard, but I don't think that one made the book.
There's probably a lot of them out
I
there
had
that
heard,
don't.
rumor has it that he and Bugsy Stevens raced into the Atlantic, and I'm not sure who won it, but I think they both got locked up.
I know a few stories like that.
Which goes back to what I was saying of the hooligan nature of the man with the,
He was a fun-loving guy.
the mystery paint.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how smart he was too. He was just
Innovative. Well,
a
things
freaking genius, really.
things I didn't know that like he came up with, like the AccuSump system. He was basically the guy that invented it.
Yeah.
He was when they raced Trenton, where they had that right hander, all the big blocks would just explode when they lost all the oil, and he built his own AccuSump system. He goes into a little bit of detail how he did that. And I wouldn't have thought of that.
And he brought Jim Hutter to NASCAR, motor builder. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That guy had a monster motor everywhere. he
Hutter's still very big up here on the modifieds.
went. Yeah, he's still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, but very, very impressive. I don't know if you ever got the opportunity to watch him race, but he was just
On the speed special,
magic.
unfortunately.
He wasn't even born, I think.
Yeah, 85.
85 is when
Yeah,
he
all right.
passed
Well,
away.
I'll date myself. I grew up watching him, and it was great watching him in places like Islip and New Egypt, all the northeastern tracks up there. We've seen him run.
I thought it was crazy. They, him and I guess Jerry Cook was a sort of big rival, whatever, and they'd send the trucks other way.
It was a respected rival, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like a hateful rival, but it was
not really a rival. When you
They'd
went
send
down the road.
they'd send a dummy car one way and somebody go another place. Yeah. But that's when NASCAR, like every race you ran, you scored points, and these guys would run 90, 100 races a year to get the points, and every track just kind of did whatever the hell they wanted to do. It was like, hey, double points tonight, and everybody go rolling 600 miles down the road to catch the race. But it was nuts. He'd run Friday in Connecticut, Saturday in Massachusetts, Sunday in New York, and Wednesday in New Jersey, and that's how they ran. And they run two races, and they run like a Sunday morning and a Sunday night show at the same car. It was crazy what they did. But it was that was back in the day where you could make a living at it too.
Well, those championships, and you sitting here looking at 8 championships, 8 or 9.
NASCAR like tour championships. I actually asked.
They had 8 in a row and 9 total.
Yeah, but if you count all the tracks and stuff, I think it was in the 30s.
Yeah.
Because he won Thompson and Stafford. I think he won a couple championships at, and Utica Rome, stuff like that.
But it's just like you said, they had to run 70, 80, 90 races to win those championships because of the way the point system was back in the day. It wasn't just like they, ran 12 races, 13 races,
12
in the
race tour.
championship.
Yeah.
They had to work for them. Back in the day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and the stories. If you get the opportunity to read that book, read it. It's really incredible. It's easy reading, lots of pictures for guys like me. Cool stuff.
It's like the year that Richard Petty won 13 in a row, or it was 12. It was 10 in a row, 13 races that year, or 27 races he won that year. but he was running 50, 60 races.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way NASCAR did it back then. You ran
Yeah, you had
all the
usually
time.
3 races a week that you could hit.
Yeah.
At least.
But, you know, back then, if you ran up front with the car, you kept reusing that car. It's not like today's, you know, Cup divisions where it's, you know, very limited amount of number of races until that car's
I
usefulness
think it was
is
Ned
gone.
Jarrett said he had 2 cars the year he won his championship.
Yeah, you
that
could
was it.
you could go bang the dents out of it, run the next race, you know, and have at it. And if you did well with the car, it covered expenses, you know. And you know, guys like Richie Evans and Jerry Cook that paid their mortgages. That's how, you know, the old school days where the guys, you know, you put $1,000 into the car and you race for more than that.
Exactly.
Well, he said in his special, it's like, what are you going to do with next year? So, well, I'm going to sell these 2 cars, build 2 more, and go at it at the end.
So come out with 2 new ones as opposed to 2 old ones and do the same thing.
Yeah. For the show.
Yeah, and you know, Billy Naswick was one of the guys that really never got. Well, in my book, he got a lot of the credit, but everybody thinks Richie Evans, but Billy was his right hand. They went everywhere together. They did everything. Billy, a brilliant car builder, chassis man, and mechanic. So it was really, they really had a great cohesion the way they worked together, and a ton of success.
Oh yeah.
He's probably, besides the Iron Man, and my mind is blank right now, but Sam Ard comes to mind.
Jack Ingram.
Jack Ingram comes to mind. Out of all of them, I think they deserve to be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I think they helped make NASCAR.
Oh, sure.
You know, Richie definitely, and I think Jack Ingram and Sam Ard and guys like that, I think they definitely need to get in for their short track abilities.
I think they're realizing that. You know, it's they're going to run out of people. You know, in a few years. I mean, it's hard to believe, but I mean, you can't just go put Jimmy Johnson in 5 years. You know, after all these people, you're going to have to really, you know, go through the roots and figure out who really shaped the sport. And so, you know, having Richie Evans in is definitely allowed to open the door to, okay, we can look at short track racers. You know, somebody like we race against Philip Morris. You know, I mean, regardless of what you think of him, he's won, you know, 4 national championships. It's, you know, him and the other guy. Yeah, that's it.
And guys like that do deserve to get in, and I think eventually you'll see like a Philip Morris or some guys like that to get in. But Darrell Waltrip, he deserves to get in, but I think he could have waited. I think there was more that were.
Oh yeah, like, you know, the Woods and, you know.
I think DW, I think, is deserving.
He is.
But I tend to think now even. I mean, you know, there are very, very few guys that really surpassed his record.
I don't know. It's always a good mix every year, just because I think they need people that are, you know, I mean, the first year they had, I mean, those people are the forefront, the stone structure of NASCAR. But now they need to spice it up. They need to put somebody like a Richie Evans in, and somebody like a Ned Jarrett that really contributed to the sport. But then also you need a guy like DW who is still on television and still talking about it and get people excited about it.
Yes, exactly.
Because, you know, let's be honest, somebody that just tuned in NASCAR a couple years ago, they never saw DW drive the '88 Gatorade car for Junior Johnson and win 3 championships.
Or the 11 Budweiser, or
you know,
Pepsi, or Mountain Dew, or
like they probably have some collectible car with the Chrome 17 on it. You know, at the end of his day. So make people research that and go back to really appreciate where we came from.
Connect then with now. I think that's a very good point you got there.
But don't you think, like, you got Ray Fox and Red Voigt, and you got some innovators out there, and
oh, you got Curtis Turner and the Flocks.
Smokey Unick that helped it. You know, there's guys like that, I think, that are little. And I'm not saying Darrell doesn't. I do believe he does. Maybe next year or the year after. You know what I mean?
It's a tough call because you get so many guys that really do deserve to be there. And how do you select who now?
Who now?
And is it really because you get selected now or you get selected next year? Does that mean you were more deserving to be there than a guy that gets selected next year?
Right.
Because, I mean, I guess realistically, if you look at it somewhere down the road 50, 100 years from now, someone will get in there that is more deserving than the first guy to go in. Possibly. It could be Jimmy Johnson. I mean, Jimmy Johnson's still in the highlight of his career. I'm just using him as an example. But here's a guy that conceivably could win another 10 championships.
Do you think they need to up how many they allow in?
Absolutely not.
You think 5's enough?
I think 5's enough. Because, like you said, in 10 years, they're going to run out of people. You got, you know.
50 people. How many people have been in NASCAR racing and made big names? That's a lot of people.
Have you ever looked at the list of people that are like actually allowed to be in? It's like 25. So
just out of curiosity, let's compare it to other halls of fame. Baseball, football, hockey. How many people get in there a year? I'm ignorant of this.
I'll tell you what. Let's do a quick break, and we'll come back.
And we'll Google that. Me?
Right
No,
back.
my shift key's backwards on this.
I know the answer.
You do?
So he got 87%. He was the only guy. There's 20 other guys on there.
Now we continue with the discussion.
We're back.
We're back.
You missed his explanation, so you're going to have to Google it.
He can redo it.
He's got a good memory.
Speak up a little bit.
So like baseball, you have to have 87% of the vote. So say there's 20 guys, all 20 guys can basically get in as long as they get 87% of the people thinking they should be in. But like this year, Barry Larkin got in. He's one of 20 that got in. Just because he had 87% of the vote. So.
But now on baseball, you have to be retired for so long.
Yeah, I think the NBA, Michael Jordan, he only got in a couple of years ago, and I think you have to wait 5 to 7 years or 10 years or something like that. So, NASCAR really hasn't done anything, has set no standard for that. They're just kind of, like anything, they take the top 5.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. Yeah, they just take the top 5. I think Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you got to be 25 years in the business and
OD twice. Rock and roll.
It could be.
Kidding.
And but they take like 10 a year, or they take 8 to 10 a year. So why can't NASCAR? I don't think they'll ever run out. Because you got Jim Hunter out there who deserves to be in. I'm sorry, Jim Hunter needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
When you start breaking it down to the local level, you get local guys that have raced against 30 competitors week after week for a decade, 2 decades, and have racked up 200-300 wins. One of the guys I think of offhand was a guy that my dad raced against up on Long Island, was Paul McIlerney. Paul McIlerney's, I believe to this day, still the winning most driver in New York, or on Long Island, because he ran Islip, Freeport, Riverhead, and he ran everything from street stocks to late models to modifieds, all NASCAR. This guy, if you look at his record on paper, he's there, but it didn't run in divisional, didn't run in the national series that they've got now. So I guess if you look at like NASCAR's archives, you're never going to see his name really. But realistically, this is a guy that you probably could have put in any division, and he'd have been there. He'd have been one of them.
Phil Warren.
Yeah, but the biggest point I have, against having more than 5 is just because it's not all about seeing all these people that you care about get in on your time. It's NASCAR needs to be for everybody. It needs to be around for 100 or so years.
I agree.
So I think 5, it entices people enough, gives something to talk about like we're doing now, and it's got diversity in it. So I'm sure that people thought long and hard about Winston Kelly and all them. Yeah, they made a good move. Like I said, 5. It's making it select.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
True.
Yeah. I can see.
Well, I guess you got to look at the size of the memorabilia too. We're not putting baseballs and gloves and bats and gloves.
Putting race cars.
Yeah, at some point you can't put that many in. You'll need Mall of America.
Oh yeah, the building's incredible and all that stuff, but they just need to figure out how to make revenue for people to show up and to enjoy the Hall of Fame, because it's really awesome. I've been twice now, and it's just so cool.
What do I need to look? I'm going this weekend.
What's increased?
My first time was. What's the highlight?
You need to give yourself 3.5 hours to go through it.
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
Yeah.
I'll be there for 3 days, so I guess I'll.
Honestly, you need to go in the morning so you can get in there first thing and do your thing while probably there's not a whole lot of people there, and then go eat lunch and then be done. Just because it's a lot of cool stuff to do. You can rate. Stuff we didn't even do the first time. We ran the simulators, and we did the pit stop competition and all that stuff. So you gotta give yourself time to enjoy all that, because it's a lot of fun.
But there's a lot of stuff in there as being around the sport, as racers or whatever, that you can really enjoy too. I enjoyed going through where they had the Bill Elliott stuff and the little where it showed the drivers.
Yeah, and it's a lot more. Ricky Rudd has his own plaque in there.
Yeah.
Bill, he's got a whole collection of stuff.
Bill Elliott, and there's a lot of Dale Earnhardt stuff.
A lot of old nationwide drivers, like Sam and Jack, and Tommy Ellis is even in there. So it's like I said, when you give yourself some time, it's really cool and gives you a whole new appreciation of.
Is the still in there?
I think so. I don't remember.
See, I didn't go last year, so I don't know if they've changed up anything. But Junior Johnson built a still in there. You remember that?
I heard something that I think it still works. It's
water and heat.
I think I saw
work.
something about Junior Johnson moonshine somewhere during the weekend in there. I don't know if he's got his own brand or what, but
actually,
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of neat stuff. It really is. It gives you a good background of NASCAR and how it started and where it has progressed. It shows the Cale and Donnie cars. I don't know if that's the actual cars, but if they were.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, there's just a lot of stuff to go through, and you kind of pick and choose whatever you want to do, and have a fun time.
Take it all in.
Yeah, it is. It is really a neat.
Be a good time. Be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Really a neat time. So you'll enjoy it.
Good. Well, when you come out to my 24-hour party, I'll tell you all about it.
Sounds good.
You're invited too. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Should I bring dip?
Hey, bring whatever you want. Yeah.
Beer?
We're trying to keep the motorized toys to a limit, though. There's a lot of trees on my property.
Oh boy.
That's my crew chief's house has the 10th mile oval around it for the quad racing, not mine.
He did say
But
limit.
If you want to bring a backhoe and a radio control car, there's a bunch of guys with them. We'll make a track in the backyard someplace. I'm okay with that.
You're
Just
okay
go out
with
there
that?
and there's plenty of dirt out there. It'll all grow back.
I think I'm going to go just to watch.
Oh, it's entertaining. We got some furniture to throw on the fire, which is always important. It's a tradition. An old couch has to go in the fire at some point during every party.
So you've got that couch picked out.
Well, you could bring another one if you want. I mean, it's 24 hours.
I might do
it's
that.
Not going to burn that long.
Bring my Christmas trees too. That'd be cool.
Christmas trees, sure. They'll go right up. If anybody's like a little slow on taking the decorations down, bring them out. Please do. It'd be a good time.
Yeah, the two of y'all should now interview CE. He's here. He's a guest.
Well, he's a host now.
He's a host for right now. Yeah, we'll
Well-
get to him in a minute.
Just got kicked back to the curb, didn't you?
How did I get head upgrade?
You're sitting in the middle.
Oh yeah. Special dude.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
You're doing well.
resist it.
Normally, the guy in between us is like a tennis match. You're just looking back and forth. You're hanging in there. What are you doing this year? What's your plans this year?
Yeah, we're trying to move up. I got a lot of big sponsor deals in the works, but first thing is we signed Call's Racing Products out of Richmond. They're going to sponsor us at Langley Speedway and at the Denny Hamlin Showdown, Martinsville, and South Boston. Also, we signed Willwood Disc Brakes. They build all the hubs and brake pads and brake pedals, and huge company in California build great products. They're helping me out this year, and we also have Hampton Roads Toyota dealers coming back. So we'll be back at Langley right now. We're scheduled for full season there, to run with our Camry, and then we're actually building a brand new car right now to take to other bank tracks and stuff because our laying the car last year was pretty stout. So I'm trying to just
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that too much.
Kinda
Anytime I looked, it was out front, I think.
kind of leave the car cover on it and make sure the oil's okay. And
Check the oil, kick the tires, bring it out in the spring, yeah.
just try to keep it warm till then. But we're working hard on this new car right now. We got it back Thursday from Bobby Creech, and everything's going along pretty good so far. So hopefully we can either debut it March 3rd at Kenley or the following weekend at South Boston for the big race. So that's pretty much what we got. Just late model up.
That's it. Best
Yeah.
of luck to you.
Thank you.
Anything going on? Or are you looking? I know you're planning on moving up or want to move up, but are you going to do any other type this year? Or are you going to go up and do some K&N or maybe some?
We're trying
trucks
to.
or-
I think if we do anything, we'll do a truck. We got a lot of opportunities to do that with the people I know, and teams are available. So right now it's just trying to find the cash to do it. It's really tough out there. It's going to be interesting to see after Daytona how many cars really show up to all these tracks. I really don't see them getting full fields unless they start bringing out other backup cars from premier teams to fill the field. But we're going to find something, and something will come up, and you guys be the first to know. So.
Now, didn't you have a couple of truck starts a year or two ago?
Yeah, we did. We did Phoenix and Martinsville in 2010. It was a lot of fun, and it was just kind of spur of the moment deals. The guy called me on a Thursday, and Martinsville race was on Saturday, and said, "Hey, you want to drive my truck?" I was like, "All right, let's do it."
Let me think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm on my way.
I literally got the call at 1:30. Did because you have to do a physical and a drug test, to compete in NASCAR. So I was at the dock in the box getting a physical.
Poked and prodded. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much getting felt up. And then at 6 a.m. On Friday, I took my drug test, and that was I mean, it wasn't difficult.
Did you study for it? It's important to
I really
study
worked
for it.
hard, and I thought I was prepared, and then it took me a whole hour to do my deal. So I guess it's just all
A little bit of stage fright.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's being told to perform. Your first time, it's tough.
I just walked into the tail end of that.
Yeah, you don't even want to.
You can catch
Let
the
it go by.
replay of this
You
later
catch the
on. This will
replay.
be on YouTube, and it'll also be on Roger's link, which you can catch up there.
These comments or opinions do not reflect Let's Talk Racing.
We do it all in fun, so it's no big thing.
You've been such, and I hate to put it this way, you've been such a force at Langley, and Langley is one of the toughest places, in my opinion, to get around. I mean, if you're going to win on the East Coast, you got to win at Langley. How much has learning how to drive at Langley helped you when you do go to a Martinsville or South Boston or even a Phoenix? How much has that helped you prepare?
Well, I mean, it's just Langley makes you mature really quickly. In 2008, we didn't win a single race there. We ran second a lot of times to some good competitors, and I really had to learn how to finish and learn how to win. And we had good cars and stuff. Nothing really changed the following year. We just figured out how to. I had to figure out how to make my cars better for not only just to make a fast lap in practice to win practice, but to win the race, because it's not about one lap in the race, it's about 100 or twin 50s or twin 75s, and it's just being able to know the pace that you can set so you can win, and that makes you mature, and you have to understand your car and understand mechanics of it and all the physics and geometry and all the stuff that goes in it, because those guys you're racing against work as hard as you do. As much as you think how much sleep you're really losing, they're losing just as much sleep as you are. So
Yeah.
It's Langley's a tough track, and it's always will be. So it's definitely made my life. Once we figured out how to win at Langley, the winning came easier at other places.
Yeah.
Just being able to prepare, and winning late model stock car is tough. And so we don't take any wins lightly. It's a really work really hard for our success, and hopefully we just continue.
When you go to another track, and this is, I always, whenever you go to another track, do you ever go, man, this feels just like going into this corner? I can relate to a corner at Langley. Do you get a lot of that? Do you see a lot of similarities?
Not in that sense. More of because stuff you do to help you at Langley doesn't really apply to other tracks, and so you have to kind of I guess desegregate yourself from that and try to figure, okay, what can I do to improve my car here that I really necessarily wouldn't do at Langley? Because there's certain adjustments at Langley that you do think about that that will help you. Trap bar or springs or tire pressure or whatever. So some of those things just don't quite apply to other tracks. So you just have to makes you diverse, and makes you study your car every day. So it's if you don't think about it every day, you're a day behind.
Wait for somebody else to catch up to you.
Yeah.
I asked Greg this, and I'm going to ask you this because your brother Wesley does race with you. How many times has Thanksgiving dinner been canceled because of something between you and your brother on the track?
Never.
Never?
No. We race as one team that just happens to field two cars. Honestly, I know there's a lot of teams out there that try to act separately and do their own separate deal and think that's better, and we've just never worked that way. We've always raced it's been a family thing, and if it's not fun, then we won't do it, because and there's been times we've questioned it, where sometimes we really took it too seriously, and when we weren't having any fun at it, it's like we need to get back to what we were doing. So like I said, we've gotten into it on the track sometimes. He's raced me, rough. I raced him rough. But at the end of the day, he was my brother before racing, and he will be after. So, we just happen to compete and have fun. And, I guess there's a new rule now. You can't communicate between drivers and stuff, so that's going to limit it. But
Is that gonna trickle down?
It's in our rule book.
It's in the late model rule
You
book?
cannot communicate vehicle to vehicle. So I don't know how good that's going to be enforced. I don't know if somebody else might try it and see how it works. But, I mean, before I'd switch radio and be like, hey, Wes, how's your car doing? Here's what I'm feeling. This is what I did. Okay, well, here's what I did. And, you know.
Learn Spanish. That'll screw them all up.
What was it?
Latin.
Latin.
Peyton Manning learned Gaelic or something to speak his offensive line.
Big Latin, there you go.
There
There's
Yeah.
a hard one.
They'll never figure that one out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think they're going to be checking at the local tracks that much. I mean,
They do scan us. You know, they know when we talk and all that stuff. So you do have to be careful on the radio.
well, you can always...
Does anybody know who the new director is going to be at Langley Field?
I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything?
Still haven't heard anything.
I didn't know there was going to be a new one.
Yeah, but
You read the
I'm a
internet?
little out of the. No, I try to stay out of most of that, but no, I haven't really been
Newspaper.
involved in the Langley doings really that much this year
They
because
fired Butch.
I had
They
no
did
idea.
that. Well, I don't know if you would call it firing. I think they will not ask him to come back.
It was put out like this. If you don't hear from us, we would be giving you a call to have you come back in. He never got a call.
So, with that being said, who's the new race director? That's going to be the interesting part.
I may do an off the side call here and see if I can get into that.
Roger's going to dig up some dirt. That's what that means.
He's going to call Hudson.
Yeah.
Hudson hasn't been real happy with me lately, so I don't.
So yeah, racing my brother's fun. You know, it's a good time. He's really smart and he helps me out a lot.
You both are great kids. I've actually known you for 100 years.
Yeah, since I was like 12.
Since you were like 12. I put him in a legend car. First time you ever drove a legend car, you guys were thinking about getting into it.
Yeah,
You remember that?
Drove the dog car.
The dog car.
01.
Yeah.
Spun out off
I've seen
turn.
that car. I think it's still out there running.
It's been wrecked a few times.
Yeah. It's been
I didn't wreck it.
gone to
that
the
day.
pound.
I just spun out a couple times.
Spun it out.
Yeah. No. So.
I don't think that's real hard to do in a legend car. They look pretty twitchy.
Yeah, they got a little bit better tire now, so I don't think it's as hard as it was, but you know, it's
a little bit softer.
It's a tough car. You know, it's definitely going from the legend car to late models like driving a Cadillac now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. I went to the Skip Barber schools on pretty much the same tire that the legend cars used to be on, and that's an angry tire. Just not. It doesn't want to. It wants to go get groceries and drive back and forth to work. It really doesn't want to be on a race car.
No,
It seemed like it took about 2 laps to get heat in it, and about 3 laps for it to fade away.
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Very inconsistent. I thought they were very inconsistent tires. The older tires, like what we're talking about. I haven't been on the new ones, the FedEx or Federal, whatever they are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We ran really well on the old tire, and you know, I've worked with kids. You know, part of my summer deal is I go down to Charlotte like, you know, every Monday through Wednesday, and teach kids how to drive legend cars at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Really?
So I work on them and set them up and stuff, and you know, it's definitely more forgiving tire. This tire they have now, it's definitely faster, and I know these guys up here, they're real scared to get on them. But I think once they got on, they're like, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Any division's scared of change.
Now, earlier when we were talking about running at Langley, and you were talking about it, and people coming out, when we had the Drive for Diversity, when you were out there helping setting up everything, you saw how quickly cars get wadded up, and people are just jumping in and trying to run Langley.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they had a lot of good kids that, you know, obviously raced a long time, but a lot of them just weren't prepared to be in the late model, and especially to run at Langley, you know, and the weather conditions were not in their favor whatsoever. You know, we practiced all day on a Tuesday with it feeling like 100 degrees, and you know, track temperature being 100.
Greasy,
And,
very greasy.
Well, you know, and then the next day when the kids actually got to go race, it felt like a penguin could walk by. It was so cold, and the track was ice cold, and you know, it'd been raining, so you felt like it was just slick roads out there, really. So
Yeah.
Late start, they had to drive the track and everything else. The new race director.
you really have that info?
You ever watch the reality shows like Bachelor and Bachelorette? They get ready to tell you this, they break for a commercial. Well, I'm not going to do that to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But the new race director will be announced this week.
Oh.
That was very anticlimactic, Raj.
Well,
I was looking for an answer there.
I saw it coming.
You saw it coming?
People say...
So I fell for that. Am I the only one? See, were you with me too, or what?
No, hold on. When people tell me...
You guys just leaving me out. Leaving me out there.
When people tell me you can't tell anybody, but it will be announced, then I have to sort of honor that.
Oh.
I hate when they do that!
So we're going to cut to a commercial break and
So-
torture Raj into telling us.
So there is an announcement coming this week.
This week.
He used to work at Langley.
Do we get 20 questions?
No.
Does he have a mustache?
I don't know. I haven't seen the person lately.
You know who he is, though.
I've seen him before. Oh, you got told.
I know nothing.
I think if we keep asking questions, he'll slip.
I think we're just going to turn off the monitor.
Yeah, I think we need to.
This is the censored part.
This next commercial brought to you by this red fruit punch.
You can say it.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm not getting it.
They're not paying him to say it.
Smart man. I always had a friend that said, you need to buy that Harley shirt, or when I had my Harley, or put this on there. And I'm like, Harley Davidson is not paying me to put their name on there.
All right, so this kid's supposed to call, 7:45? So you have 4... Oh, he's calling right.
Wow, you're good.
Look at that man go. Let's talk racing.
Hey, how's it going? It's Brendan Newberry.
Hey, Brennan.
You're good. You're
How are you,
good.
man?
See, he just pulled up the piece of paper and was getting ready to just talk about you. He said, isn't he supposed to be calling in and the phone rings?
Well, you always told me to be 5 minutes early to these things, man.
Well, good, because we were running out of things to say.
Alrighty, well, I'm glad I can help you there.
Brennan, give us a little background on you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, obviously, my name is Brendan Newberry. I'm 21 years old. I'm Bakersfield, California. I've been involved in racing since I was about 9 years old. Started actually here locally in Bakersfield running go-karts, and just slowly, methodically worked my way up the ranks. With obviously the help of my mom and dad, Bob and Monica Newberry, the owners of the team I race for, which is NTS Motorsports. When I was 16, I went and ran some Ford-focused mid stuff in the USAC series, and ran that till I was about 18. And in 2009, I got involved. Actually, the team, my parents and I got involved with a man named Gary Collins, who's very well known out here on the West Coast. He, his family owned Mason Moran Raceway out here. He basically is the creator of the Camping World Truck now. In 1994, he's the one who first created it. So it's really cool to be involved in that type of racing history back here. And then I ran 2009 with he and his team in the SRL Spears Southwest Tourist Series. Ran that the past couple years. In 2010, I had a high finish of fourth place in points. In 2010 also, I started running the K&N Pro Series West Division, and I've been running, competing in that series for the past 2 years. And, this season, 2012, the NTS Motorsports team and myself are, we're looking to step up, and we plan on competing in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, competing in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series, and running also in the ARCA Racing Series presented by as a driver, I guess I'm kind of on a need-to-know basis, and they'll tell me where I need to go and when I need to know to be there. So they kind of just tell me where I need to be. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly the amount of races I'm running in both of those series. All I know is for the Camp World Truck, March 31st, I'll be in Martinsville, and for the K&N Pro Series, March 3rd, I'll be in Phoenix, and not real sure about the ARCA Racing Series, but NTS Motorsports, we have a whole lot going on. A teammate of mine, Jeff Mullins, coming back again this year. He's going to run a full SRL Spears Southwest Tour points battle. He's going to go, for the Rookie of the Year championship, and also, go for the points championship as well. And also announcing, this week actually, my sister Devin, who just turned 16. Devin Newberry, she's going to be racing in the in the Legend cars the first time this year, and she's going to run a lot over here on the West Coast, and mainly Las Vegas. She's actually going to run a race this weekend at the Las Vegas Road Course. So, a lot of really cool, exciting stuff going on with myself and NTS Motorsports, and also everyone with the help from Carson Racing, Terry Carson, and and the group that he has there. Just a lot of really good things going on. We're actually getting involved this year with an organization called Best Buddies, and it's actually something that's really close to my teammate Jeff Earnhardt, because his brother has Down syndrome, and basically what Best Buddies is, it's a non-profit organization. It's dedicated to establishing just volunteer movement globally, which creates one-on-one opportunities, help get these kids or anybody, all ages, who have IDD, which is intellectual and development disabilities, try to help, get them into leadership roles or get them into employment roles, that might not, come easily to them as it would with someone, I guess, who doesn't have this type of disability. So, it's really cool to get involved in that, since, it's so close to my teammates are, Jeff and his brother. It was something really cool to be involved with. And also, actually here locally, I'm getting involved with the Kern County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Obviously being from Hispanic descent, my mom's last name was Ortiz, before she married my father and changed last names. So it's really cool to, to help that organization, which their goal is obviously to help, Hispanic businesses and entrepreneurs, help equal opportunities, in Kern County, and they're also just a subdivision of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So, it's just a big group trying to do the same thing. They're trying to help, promote Hispanic businesses and entrepreneurs and help give them the same equal opportunities. Really, any other, not so much nationality, but just any other business out there. So it's really, a lot of cool things happening this year, and I'm really excited, that we get the 2012 racing campaign started off, and like I said, the first place we're going to be running is in Phoenix in the K&M Pro Series, and so I'm just really excited. Like I said, I have some really cool teammates and really great people backing me with, my mom and dad, Bob and Monica Newberry, and Gary Collins and Dan Daringhoff, and everybody who's helping run our MTS Motorsports program here on the West Coast. And we're trying to expand this thing, go nationwide with this deal, go from coast to coast, east and west, and just hit as many races as we can, and go and try and turn some heads and perform the best we can.
So you're not sure how many you're going to run this year?
No, not exactly. I think my dad, Gary, and Dan have an idea. They just said, it's going to be, it's really, we're just kind of doing a race-to-race deal, kind of dependent upon, how we perform. Obviously, even on my own team, I have a performance-based contract with them. So obviously, it's all about performance. And so, the better I perform, hopefully, the better opportunities that I'll be able to have to run in more Campbell truck races, K&M Pro Series races, and ARCA races in the future. If not, if not full time this year, hopefully for the 2013, maybe 2014 campaigns, we can work to something like that.
Any plans on moving down here to North Carolina?
It's kind of hard to tell. Majority of the Campbell truck races and the ARCA races, are mainly, from the Mississippi over, and so a lot of the a lot of the racing takes place over there. A lot of the teams are based out of there. We are just NTS Motorsports is strictly based on the West Coast, and it's dependent upon or not, how our season goes this year. Maybe 2013, 2014 could lead to, maybe an expansion of the team, branching out and going to the East Coast. And if that happens, then obviously I would follow suit and follow the team. But at this point, we don't really have any set plans on moving to North Carolina. We're going to do everything we can from here in Bakersfield on the West Coast and try to give them hell from here.
So you ran K&N last year?
Yeah, I ran select events in the K&N Pro Series last year. I ran the very first Phoenix race, which I ended up getting the pole in, my very first pole position. And then I also ran at the Iowa Speed where, again, I got the pole for the West Division since it was an East and West combination race. I also raced at the Las Vegas Bull Ring in the West Division, where I finished a fifth, and then I ran, in the last race at Phoenix, after they reconfigured the track, and I'll tell you that track is really cool. But this year, I think we're slated to run not only in the West Division, but also to hop over into the K&N Pro Series East. And I believe the first race we are going to run there will be the Bristol race, which will be the opener for the K&N Pro Series East series.
So what was the biggest difference you saw between the old Phoenix track and the new track?
The biggest thing that I saw was coming out of turn 2. It seemed like you drove up, like kind of at a higher elevation, I guess. At more of a degree up racetrack coming out of 2, and you drop down more like you were going down after into the dog leg. 3 and 4 didn't seem like it had been changed too much. The only thing that I felt was they just added a little more banking to 1 and 2, and you drove up the track more coming out of 2, and once you kind of peeled off the wall, you more drove down the track towards the dog leg, and the dog leg seemed more of like a triangle tip than it was before. It was more of a rounded turn. But besides that, it races the same. It's still a really fast, really technical track. It was honestly really fun to drive on once you finally got the setup right, because everyone kind of went there without knowing what to expect. So once we got our setup right, the cars really felt really good. So I feel like whenever we go back there to Phoenix on March 3rd with the K&N Pro Series West, that we're going to be pretty competitive. I mean, just because, like I said, towards the end of the race there, we really got the car working and handling good. So I hope we can go there and post a better result than we did last time.
Yeah, I mean, if you can beat Greg Pursley, that's doing something.
Yeah, definitely. Greg was the man last year, but just like racing, it's ever changing and it's always developing, it's always evolving. So hopefully, over this off season, I've trained physically and mentally enough, and I've studied enough, and hopefully I can be the one who's evolved, and I can go and beat Greg personally, and not only him, but all the hard hitters in the K&N Pro Series West.
You were doing such a great job. You know who was talking to you. I was kind of...
So have you ever, you talking about running truck stuff, have you ever driven a Camera World truck before?
Yeah, I have. I actually, I got a chance to go test last year in one of them. It was my first test ever. We actually went to go to the Gresham Motorsports Park, the facility over there in South Carolina. Yeah. And, I mean, I felt really good. Besides name and a different-looking vehicle, it's more or less just another race vehicle with steering wheel, a shift lever, a gas pedal, a brake pedal, a clutch, and a windshield to look out of. And there is a lot more power, obviously, with the tire difference between what I've run. I've always run high splice tires, which are not as hard, and they weren't as, I guess, positive as the radial tires which I have in the Camper World Truck Series. But I mean, besides that, going to bigger racetracks and running with higher caliber of drivers, a higher caliber tracks with even higher caliber teams. Now that's going to be the biggest, deal is just the big, competition swing and also the big track swing. We got to go run the last race. We actually got to go practice, at the last race at Homestead, which was the first time I was ever on a mile-and-a-half racetrack. And through rain and things like that, we kind of lost our opportunity to qualify for the race, which kind of, said we went so far from the West Coast over to Florida, in Homestead to try to make the race. And, unfortunately, Mother Nature wasn't on our side for that one. And, we were part of the, I think, 5 or 6 unlucky teams that had to go home and not compete. But, even still, that's what I thought the biggest difference was going to be, that I was going to have to work harder at, was going to the bigger, faster racetracks that I've never seen before and that I've never driven on with trucks, never been in. So, I've been doing a lot of studying, a lot of and things like that, and hopefully, that can hopefully, narrow the gap of the learning curve that I'm going to get whenever I show up to these bigger racetracks.
Right on, man. Well, sounds like you got a lot going on and a lot of air miles to collect. Best of luck to you, and I think Roger has something he wants to say.
I think our next caller is coming. Is there anything else?
I was going to try to tell him that.
Okay, Roger, you take this.
I was going to not let him know that he was there.
I'll tell you what, Brennan. Let's get you on out of here. I know you got some great sponsors and probably some family and friends you need to say thanks to. Why don't we get you thanking your sponsors?
Oh yeah, not a problem at all. Hopefully something that we can change here in 2012, and hopefully for 2013 and beyond is to sign one of those big corporate sponsors like everyone gets to talk about. Unfortunately we haven't signed one of those yet. So, right now, obviously my biggest sponsor is my parents, Bob and Monica Newberry. I can't thank them enough for the opportunity that they've given me, to even start racing and to continuously, support me and, help me get to where I can be in front of big teams and big sponsors' faces. So definitely I have to thank them. I thank my sisters, Stephanie and Devin, and, wish my sister Devin good luck on all of her racing ventures this year. Everybody at Carson Racing, Terry Carson and the entire group that he has back there. Everybody from Best Buddies, go on to www.bestbuddies.org to go check out that and see how you guys can get involved. And, and also go to BrennanNewberry.com. It's a new website I'm going to be launching here in the next couple months. My teammate Jeff O'Lane's going to have one, www.jeffolaine.com. So go check us out and thank you guys very much for having me on, and I hope to chat to you guys throughout the season, just to give you guys a heads up of what I'm doing. Best of luck to the show, and I hope to talk to you guys soon.
All right, man. Well, thanks for being on here, and we'll have you on here soon.
We do have a friend of yours out here in the background too.
Who's that?
Bobby, you want to speak up?
What's up, Brandon? Hey, what's up, Bobby? How's everything going over here, man?
Oh, we're going pretty good. Sitting out here at Christmas waiting on Terry.
Well, good, man. Well, you get on and you tell these boys about the new ventures that you're going to experience here in 2012. I'll let you get to it. Guys, thank you very much for having me on, and I hope to talk to you all soon.
All right, man. Thanks for being on.
No problem, guys. See ya.
Okay, we got Bobby Dale Earnhardt, and you like to be called what, Bobby Dale?
Yes, sir, I do. Anything really. I mean, I'll answer to Bobby Dale. Pretty much anything.
Hey, you, or something like that.
Bobby, give us a little bit of background on your racing. We know you got a famous last name here, but you're not taking quite the same path as everybody else is, are you?
No, not really. I started out racing go-karts when I was about 7 years old. Just the something get started in, and I decided to step out of that after that series and help my brother in the U-car when he run dirt U-car, and got him up to the late model series. And once I knew he got to where he needed to be. I ventured off and done my own little thing, running some U-cars at Motor Mile. Done all right that season, for the season, and I mean, I didn't burn up the track, but that was the first time I ever got something in with roll cage in it. But actually kind of worked on it myself. So I had a little few help here and there, but pretty much everything myself. Besides putting the roll cage in and everything, of course, had somebody else do that. But other than that, I ended up doing some late model racing out in Dillon, South Carolina, along with some more U-car racing, and run a racing lawnmower at LB Lions Club. But
Now, how was the racing lawnmower thing? I mean, I've talked to one or two other drivers, but it's been a while back.
Oh, they're not kidding with those things.
no, it was a good experience because it was on dirt and you got the whole dirt feel for it. And with them things, they're so touchy on like half flipping and everything. They're very easy to flip. I found that out. But you have to know when to get in the gas, get out the gas, know how to set them up, because if they ain't set up right, I mean, they're just that much easier to turn over. So
you just can't go to
it's a really good
Sears and get
experience
your
for me.
lawnmower?
No, the standard Craftsman model isn't really going to. There's probably a class for it, but
It's not like a box
Yeah,
stock class?
it's like about 180, I mean not 180, but about 80 mile an hour down the straightaway. All it is, like, you go take your regular Craftsman mower and like chop it about 4 inches off the ground and put some go-kart motor parts in it, racing parts in it, in the motor, and that's pretty much it, really.
So you don't soak the tires at all?
Nope.
Really? Why not?
But that's actually
kills the
illegal.
grass.
We're on dirt.
Well, you guys start on it starts out on grass, doesn't it? And by the end of the race, it usually turns out dirt, isn't it?
No, I mean, the tracks I've run just there. I mean, I've seen tracks where they just go out in the field and just set up a course, and it's what you run. And by the time
hay, grass, gravel. Yeah, a friend of mine ran one up here in Gloucester somewhere, I think. And it sounded like it was something I missed.
Joe, you can still do it.
I didn't say I wanted to do it. I just said it's one of the things I want to watch. Now, I am interested in a faster lawnmower simply for lawn care around the house. If I could knock that 45 minutes of mowing the lawn down to 6, I'd be a happy guy,
I wouldn't get that that you probably
I
get.
found a way to do that yet. Once I do, I'll let you know.
Please let us know. Now, your racing career's kind of taking a little bit of a curve here. What are we planning on doing now? Do we got something in the works?
Yeah, I actually hooked up with Terry Carson Racing, and got together with him, and we put together a Earnhardt Carson deal, which is basically like a race team marketing deal. But we're working on that stuff, working on sponsorship for that, and I'm actually out in California right now. I'm doing it's like RPM's doing a deal out here at Irwindale Speedway, and they invited me to come out and run their cars, just like basically practice, and they're gonna be filming and everything, and it's like introduction, or not introduction, but like, I don't know how to explain it. We were talking with them, maybe running a few races for them. Who knows? I mean, we got so much working, and we talked to so many people. I mean, everything's just up in the air right now, and depending on sponsorships, and I mean.
Well, you're hanging out with the right guy. Terry knows a lot of people.
Oh yeah. You believe that? I mean, from the time he wakes up in the morning to the time he goes to sleep, he's on the phone non-stop. And ever since I've fallen out here, I mean, it's just been step after step after step. I mean, in the right direction. we just come from a meeting with the CPA and everything. So, I mean, it's like everything moving forward. I'm really, really excited. I mean, it's the first time I've actually really been this excited about my racing career.
Did he get to take you out on the boat yet?
Yeah, actually, we didn't go out on it, but we stayed the night on it. I flew into Vegas, and we drove back from Vegas at 12 o'clock and got here about 4 o'clock. So we ended up staying on the boat that night, and that was kind of fun.
Yeah, he keeps inviting me to come out there, and I don't get the time to go out there. So one of these days I will. I'm gonna take him up on the boat trip too.
It's on the bucket list.
There you go, on the bucket list. Now, are you taking, and since you're talking with RPM, is this something like maybe something in one of the lower divisions, or actually in the Cup division trying to do something?
Well, for right now in the lower division, I mean, we're working towards the Cup series, of course. I mean, my ultimate goal is to be a champion in the Sprint Cup series, like my granddad and my uncle one day, hopefully.
There you go. Put another Earnhardt out there on the track.
Yeah. It's a dream of mine that, well, owning my own team or co-owning a team like I am now was my ultimate dream that I never thought I'd reach, and I've actually went above and kind of going beyond it now. And that in itself is just, I'm so happy about that. It's unbelievable.
Now you're going to move the bar up.
Thought I accomplished.
Yeah, he's got a whole new set of stuff to add to his bucket list.
So, how do you feel about the number 3 being used in Nationwide Series full time next year, with Austin Dillon running it?
It's kind of bittersweet. I mean, I can't knock on Richard because he said that the only way that number will be back on the track is if either an Earnhardt run it or his grandkids run it, and his grandkids running it. So, I mean, he has the right to put the number on the track, but at the same time, I myself think that number should have been retired. But, I mean, you got people have different opinions, and
Hold on 1 second, Bobby.
That's a tough call as far as retiring a number. I guess in that case, there's very few people that could. I mean, everybody associates that 3 with Dale, but that was Richard Childress's number when Dale came to drive for him. If you go to the history of it, and Richard Childress owned the car, I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, it's almost you have to just treat it as a number. Unfortunately, I mean, Dale did a lot, and did a lot of heroic things in that numbered car, but at the same time, some kid, let's just say 30, 50 years from now, that he grows up racing in a number 3 go-kart and a legend car and a late model and stuff. And
exactly.
And he gets up there and he wants to race the number 3 or something. I think he should have the right. He may have never heard. I mean, I'm sure you heard of Dale Earnhardt, and so I'm not knocking on your family's legacy at all, but that kid, I think he deserves the right to have a number if he wants.
Well, they did try
Well, they don't
retiring
allow,
to 43.
They don't allow three-digit numbers, and there's only so many, So
well, no, there's actually three-digit numbers out there. When you go to the racetrack, if you ever look at entry list, the car might be 101 or 150 or something, and that's because somebody else has that number. But if they don't show up at the track, then you can run the 50 number. Say some guy shows up.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I've always been told it's two-digit, no letter.
Yeah,
Anything NASCAR I've ever run.
If you go and look at the list for the entries for the race, you'll see down at the bottom 100, 100, 100 in front of the number. And so if they don't show up, like you said, that they get to use
Then you get the number for the day?
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. Who said I couldn't learn anything else?
How long will you remember it, though?
Remember what?
That's it. Bobby, and back to you now. We had a minor interruption here. That's why I kind of put you on hold for a second. How do you feel going to these tracks now and kind of carrying on that Earnhardt name? I mean, you've got a couple other out there, but in your opinion, how does it feel to go out there and really, people come up and say, well, I remember your grandfather, and kind of give us a little background on that. How does that make you feel?
It kind of makes me feel proud that I'm the grandson of Dale Earnhardt, but at the same time, there's also that pressure that a lot of people expect me to do well, and I mean, pressure is kind of good, but not at the same time. Because if I go out here and I end up running maybe place top 10, 12 in a race, they're going to look at it like, oh, he ain't got the talent. But when in all reality, I mean, you ain't going to go out there your first couple races and just absolutely burn the track. I mean, there's going to have to be that workup. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say I can't drive, but I'm not going to say I can. I've had a lot of people tell me that I drive just like my granddad. So, I mean, it's kind of good and kind of bad at the same time.
Big shoes to fill, I'm sure, just having a name.
Definitely big shoes, and you definitely have to be able to do like he was able to do, was to get in with the right team that has the right equipment with the good enough budget to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And one of these times when you're back up in this area, I'll have to get with you, and I'll tell you a lot of stories you probably may or may not heard about your dad sometime. I've had a few things that I've talked with him about, and a few run-ins, so to say.
Yeah, 4. Sounds good.
How's your dad taking you getting into the racing now? How's he? Is he kind of being supportive of you?
Well, yeah, he actually is. I mean, we ain't really talked that much about it, but because I chose to go, and I mean, not saying I wouldn't appreciate my family's help or nothing like that, but pretty much go and pave my own road, more or less. I mean, I tell him, I talk to him every now and then, and sometimes he talks about what's going on. Sometimes we don't. We just talk father-son stuff. But all in all, he supports me. I'm sure he's 100% behind me. He ain't said nothing negative. So, I mean, as far as being there at the tracks, yeah, I would like for him to be there. And I'm sure if I asked him to be there, he'd be there if he could. I mean, if he didn't have nothing going on his end. But I have to say he supports me. He supports my brother. He goes to my brother's races, and I don't see any difference.
Is your dad still racing a little bit?
As far as I know, I don't think so. I think he's just he's got this new deal with Schumacher Homes and promoting that, the whole Earnhardt Select collection, and as far as I know, I don't think he is. I mean, he ain't said nothing to me or anything about racing any.
Okay. Now, what else is on your plate here? Sounds like you got a pretty full plate going on with the Carson racing. What else is you going to be going on?
As of right now, nothing's planned. Not yet. It's in the next couple of days. I'm sure that's going to change dramatically.
So it's not written in stone yet. Just getting ready to pencil it in.
Right.
Now,
Anything can happen at any given moment.
Now, what do you go on and use iRacing at all?
No, but I'm actually in the process of talking to somebody who's going to try and hook me up on getting that started, get me running some iRacing and a bunch of sim races, give me some experience.
Yeah, I thought somebody told me that you were heavy into the computers.
I am. Like working on them hardware, taking them apart, insides apart, putting the insides together. I do some programming. I'm not too big into programming. But if you want me to put a top-notch computer together, if I had the right stuff, I could.
You know, you're talking to the PC Doc of PC Doctors, the host of the show. So I can see the gleam in his eye. He's like loaded for bear here.
We can have lots of fun when you come up this way then.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all kind of computer illiterate.
Do I have my? They keep telling me they're going to put a yellow stripe on the back of my laptop. It's
I thought we did. We didn't get it done this
permanent
time?
rookie stripe.
So, how about you? Are you any good at computers?
I mean, I can get on the .com and check my, J-Ski or Race 22.
I can work Facebook.
That's
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
I can work Facebook, a Word document. That's about it.
Yeah. My phone, it's a computer. It's got the clock on it. And,
smartphones, I mean,
Twitter
you
and
get some
stuff.
technology
Cool.
there.
I still
Do
carry
you
a dumb
use
phone.
Twitter?
Yeah, I love Twitter. It's cool. I think it's better than Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, it's too many people on Facebook now.
Well, my people I'm hanging out with and Twitter is starting to kicking up too, and trying to keep track of everything in there. I have to go back and go look at the mentions and everything, so see if somebody sent me a message.
Bobby Dale, you need a Twitter, man. I don't know if you have one or not, but you need to get one. It's free.
Well, I had one, and I couldn't figure it out, so I got rid of it.
Thank you.
I haven't turned it on, but I probably would have the same answer as Bobby Dale.
Yeah. I've looked at it and said, no.
I just don't have time for this today.
I stick with Facebook.
Well, you got Plaxo, LinkedIn. Of course, MySpace is trying to start building back up. Google is now doing its own Facebook type of thing, and Yahoo, of course, also.
I only got on. I got on Facebook and I got on. What was the first one? You just
LinkedIn?
said no.
MySpace.
To watch
MySpace. Oh my God.
to see what?
These old guys.
Yeah, I know. But I was watching.
It's like child predator territory.
Well. Yeah. Oh no! Wait a second. Hold on. I have.
Did you have a bad experience? See?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, creepers, man. They're just on MySpace.
No, the only reason I got on MySpace was because my daughter had an account on MySpace.
Oh, you're just checking it out.
And was
keeping an eye on
her. Same thing with
Sure,
Facebook.
sure.
Wait till you're older, see, and you have kids. Whatever
that is a threat, by the way.
Whole different.
Oh, my kids won't be allowed out of the house.
Oh, yeah.
My girls ain't getting out of the house.
Just go outside, cut the phone lines.
And when you think you've gotten away with something,
yeah, my kids are gonna be like Bobby Boucher. They're just like
they're gonna be stuck inside the house.
The devil, Bobby.
Exactly. They don't know no better. No, alligators are on me because they're Odula Amagata.
We're learning a lot about seeing tonight.
You didn't give your parents too much.
I was such a brat.
Were you really?
So he doesn't know how it's about.
I'm gonna have to have Mama tell me a couple of stories about some things that you
should have had him call in. Could have told
I
him good
should
stories.
have.
We still can.
No. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Do we need to do that?
How much money you got on you, huh?
What's that worth?
We need to talk off air, don't
Somebody's going to have a permanent ink blot.
Yeah.
That's all right. I got a few good stories from
How are you
my
with your
younger days.
parents, Bobby Dale?
What are you talking about? How am I?
Well, you've heard the part of the conversation we were just running through.
I'm pretty okay. I mean, I give them a hard time sometimes, just like they give me a hard time. But other than that, I mean, we get along pretty well. I know.
You don't drive them crazy now, do you?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I wouldn't be a kid if I did. I mean, I wouldn't be a son if I didn't do that.
You got to keep them on their toes.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're in California now? Are you in Bakersfield? Is that what the Carson Racing Enterprises is?
Did you catch that, Bobby?
What'd you say?
Are you out in California right now?
In
No,
Bakersfield?
he is in California.
I'm in Fullerton.
Fullerton?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's west.
It's west.
West of here. Yeah.
Like it's in the ocean.
No, that's the other way. The other west.
Oh,
How close to Bakersfield are you?
Past Indy.
Mexico or Canada?
No, that would be past Homestead or Watkins Glen. You got to go past Indy to go west.
No, it's all the same.
Is it close to L.A.?
Bobby, is it close to L.A.?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not too familiar with this place, but I know from LAX airport, I think it took, I was in traffic. It took about 2 hours in traffic to get here, but
It's about 20 miles away.
I think they said out of traffic is like 30, 45 minutes.
Wow.
It's bad out
Go
there.
ahead, Google it. I seen you pull out that smartphone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google map you.
Yeah, I've been out in L.A. I've been to San Francisco. I've been down to San Diego. And L.A. is terrible.
Yes.
For freaking traffic. They have. When I was back there, and this is 20, 30 years ago, they still had 5-lane highways.
Yeah.
And I have no clue how big it is now.
My girlfriend used to live out there. Drove a Jeep back and forth to work. Actually got carbon monoxide poisoning from sitting in traffic with the doors on the top off. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just north of Anaheim.
And you'll be sitting there, and the next thing you know, you hear a motorcycle come out of nowhere and comes up beside you and passes you.
Oh, yeah.
Just right down the middle of the line, yeah.
It's running down the lines or on the outside edge and everything.
The first time I seen it, I said, "Is that legal?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "Dang, I'm getting me a motorcycle."
I gotta get one of them.
Legal till you're caught thing.
Getting me a motorcycle. So. All right, Bobby, let you get on out of here. I think we've.
Tell Kristen I said hi, and of course Terry also.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's let you get your sponsors and the people you need to thank, and we're gonna let you get on out of here and go have some fun in California.
And I'd like to thank, first of all, Terry Carson at Carson Racing and the whole Carson crew, Kristen and Tanya and Ola and all of them. I'd like to thank my mom and my dad and my fiance for all the support, standing behind me no matter what. And just everybody all my fans, everybody who's been behind me, supporting me throughout my whole career. And I appreciate everything everybody's done for me.
Well, listen, go out and get that big sponsor and get that big name and give us a call back when you can make some announcements.
And we'll do.
Hey, Bobby, real quick, were you going to be running in the 24-hour Le Mans?
No, I wish. My brother is. He's running the 15, Mustang.
Okay.
Oh, GT car?
Hey, you should hook up, get Terry to get you hooked up with
Boris?
Boris said, since they do some work with Boris. Maybe hook you up for.
I think we're working on next year for that one.
There you go. All right. Well, you have a good night, and we'll talk to you again.
10-4.
All right, take care.
All right, real quick, on the subject of the 24, I just wanted to plug one of the, you get these stars that come in and take the co-driver positions. Brian Johnson of AC/DC is running one of the DP cars. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's a DP car because I see a picture of him. 61 years old? Lead singer AC/DC going out racing at Daytona 24 hours. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then, Patrick Dempsey runs, Patrick Dempsey actually got on the podium last year with Foster and Espinal.
He's part owner of that team, isn't he?
Yes.
Patrick Dempsey is.
Yes, Patrick. It's Dempsey Racing. I think he's got a partner in there somewhere.
Mazda.
I don't think it's factory, but they got a lot of factory support there because I'm not sure. I think Mazda has. I think the factory pulled out of that, but don't quote me on that. But I know that he's got. I know Espinal was one of the Mazda drivers. Foster, good team, and they had a real good shot at winning it last year. So
you follow the road
looking forward to watching that.
I mean, I watched it. Rolex and stuff. Scarbrough, he just seems to win them all. But I think it's pretty exciting. In the last couple of years, they've been on the same lap coming to the checkered. So still a great event. And
have you ever run road course?
Langley Speedway. Made a couple of rights and stuff. I'm serious.
I knew that was coming.
Well, at the go-kart track.
Well, the go-kart track, yeah, you did.
Yeah, purple plate. So it's not quite like a DP, but it's be something I'm willing to.
The AIK's one of your favorite spots to go running around too.
I don't know. We raised enough hell over there. I don't really go back to them.
That's a story for another time.
I was waiting for that.
I never found out who actually won that.
I don't know who won the second race.
I don't know, but we blew up the most cars.
Yes, you did.
We blew up 3 of them. So yeah,
I got black flagged.
we were
So did I.
solidly last
You
in
got
the
black
smoking
flag
heat.
twice, didn't you?
No, I only got black flagged once. Somebody else on the team got black flagged.
Oh,
I think
team
Vaughn
got-
did. Yeah.
You hungry yet?
They don't like our.
Huh? Oh, I was hungry when I got here.
Oh, yeah.
Shut her down. Let's go get something to eat. See you next week. Have a good one. Hurry up and hit the button.
The button.
Thanks, San Diego.
San Diego.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler Built Seats, Bell Helmets, Hooker Harness Seatbelts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, driving 42 car on the thing. Let's talk racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Let's Talk Racing is brought to you by PC Doctors, Computer Sales and Services. This doctor still makes house calls. And also Hampton Incredible Tees and Signs, both located at 1248 North King Street in Hampton, Virginia.